Right, so when we come to rendering materials, a couple of things we can think about with this. Firstly, are you going to have a light source? If you are going to have a light source, then obviously the sun's going to come down and it's going to hit your object. And what you tend to do with this is you work out your sun position or your light source position for a start. Surface that's closest is usually the top, therefore that will be the lightest surface. The surface on the opposite side will be the darkest, that leaves you with medium in between. If you have got a cylinder, and we have covered this on other videos before for people that have been looking at these tutorials, again you would end up with light on the top side, dark on the furthest side away, and then it would go round to medium on the other surface. And we can apply that technique to this as well. Now when you're doing the wood grain effect, you can apply it by just adding on light tones within there when you're doing it. So you would work across the whole top surface and do it quite light. You would do it a dark shade on here and a medium shade on the right hand side. What I'm going to do for this is, again, you've got a couple of options. I'll show you how to do the wood effect. So I'm going to go with quite a light colour scheme. So I'm going to go with an orange for where we've got the growth rings in there, and I'm going to go with a yellow for the main colour of the wood. If you were doing a darker wood, you might want to consider using a light brown and a darker brown for doing the same thing. So obviously grain lines are always darker. So I'll go with the lighter one. So if you're doing something like a pine or an ash like I'm doing here, then you would just shade the top surface in yellow. Again, I will go with it light on top, a medium on the side here, and then I go really dark on the front edge. Now I'm not going to shade the whole thing in because you probably noticed the camera's wobbling already with it being attached to the same surface, but you can probably see that that's quite light and that's quite dark on this outer edge here. I would then use the orange on the growth rings, running around, again going quite light there, but then going really as dark as I can on this lead edge. And again, it will just help when combined with your thick and thin to build things up. And you can actually see the finished versions of these drawings a little bit later on in the slideshow, and probably in front of you on the PowerPoint, so you can actually see where the different colours are being added on. If memory serves, I've actually done the snake as also being wood, but using a darker tone of wood, so it's a light wood, and then these pots are done with a darker wood. So have a go at rendering it. You don't have to do all the surfaces looking like wood. You could just, if you wanted to, do a basic green snake. But again, try to apply the basic rules from a colour point of view of a lighter surface on top, so that will be light. This side here will be dark, and then any end surfaces will be a medium shade. So if the light was hitting, you would get those tonal differences there. And if you are doing pots, try to shade them again. Do them a solid block colour if you want. You don't have to do everything looking like wood, but try to make them look like they are a curved surface. There are other videos that you can find on the Honley High School D&T channel, which this video links to. Good luck.